Hello, everyone, and welcome to Low Ink, February 2026. God, it feels so good to be here. And I am joined today by Nox. Hi, Nox.
Hello. Excited to be here. Always exciting to get into low ink, especially day two. Going to be looking at alpha bracket today, which is always a great time. Teams trying to get their way out of low level forever.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. Nox, I introduced you, but I forgot to introduce myself. How unpolite of me. My name is Dura. Hello, everyone. And I swear to you, I have good manners. I have good manners.
Mhm. Totally. As we all do.
Yeah, of course. Who doesn't? Who doesn't have good manners? Well, I hope that the teams we'll face today have good manners, but they can they can get a little bit, raunchy at times, and this is a stretch. I'm trying to say that I want to see some daring plays and someone pushing up and getting a triple by themselves. That's what I'm trying to say. It didn't go well. I tried, but hey.
And that's all you can do in life. But we're going to be starting off here with Pico de Gallo and Pixel by Pixel. Oh, Pixel per Ink. Sorry, don't know how I did that one. Should be two interesting teams to start off with here today. Gonna start off on Splatzone's Hagglefish. Pretty classic, a staple to say the least.
Yeah, I think actually this was the first ever Splatoon 3 map that I watched in tournaments, or actually any footage of the game. I remember.
Yeah, I remember in one of the first early events Nintendo did, they had, I don't remember, it was Starburst and somebody else on this map, and it was the first time we saw Inkvac really used.
Mhm. Well, here we go. No Inkvacs at all.
Two undercover Brellas.
Which is a big surprise, isn't it?
Okay.
Okay, well.
Maybe there was a reason why there were two undercover Brellas.
Yeah. Look, if I got into a match and I see two undercover Brellas, I would end the match instantly as well. I'm not going to lie. That is not something you see every day, and I wonder if that was a mistake. I wonder if we'll still see them. Because this was a talking point for us too, Nox, wasn't it? Weapons that we're looking to see or that we think we'll see today during day two of Low Ink.
Yes. Yeah, it's always interesting, especially this close to a patch coming out, to see what'll come out. I was a little bit surprised to see an S-Blast still sticking around. Definitely a big drop-off in those since the patch. Maybe unjustified, but definitely a big drop-off in them.
Well, but that drop-off does allow for other blasters to enter this stage. I know Custom Blaster has been really popular and quite strong, especially in Splat zones, because I mean, this knowledge comes to me from Area Cup, from watching Area Cup, but we also know the Heavy is quite strong, and that Dynamo has been really favored, at least in the West, and we were thinking that Dynamo would be a very strong weapon in
this level, yeah. Definitely not something I'm expecting to see a ton of at all levels of play, but I could see it happening quite a bit here. It's a hard weapon to punish, although we're not seeing it coming out quite yet, and I do love to see that mini Splatling come out. Always a treat, and it does so well, especially on zones like this.
Yeah. Well, starting off this match, I love the mini pick from Pico de Gallo. I think that weapon can be so strong in supporting and in finishing off kills. Meanwhile, Pixel per Ink popping all of their specials and trying to push this zone here, but to no avail, no kills. Actually, that's a trade, and it seems like Pico de Gallo will come out on top from this first interaction.
It does seem that way. Pico de Gallo doing an excellent job here of not overextending, knowing that they have a player down. Toby trying to set up a pitch here coming through that right side, as Ray Ray's doing an excellent job of just keeping this zone taken. Also, something to note on Pixel per Ink, we're seeing a paper Brella coming out, not something we see every day, to the point where I'm actually not sure I fully remember what that kit has.
Well, I'm pretty sure it is Toxic Mist and Splashdown. Oh, here we go. Thank you. Shout out to Josh, being the only player in the world with this weapon. But Josh using that shield to try to stay alive, block those shots, but Toby has something to say about that. With these specials getting traded, it seems like Pixel per Ink is trying to get zoned, but Manga is such a great anchor here, just trying to protect the zone, and this is just going to be a wash. Pico de Gallo taking the first game in a knockout.
Taking it very handily, yeah. Making it look pretty easy. Doing a great job of creating cross-firing opportunities with each other to ensure that there is constant pressure on the map. And they also, just want to highlight this again, did a great job of not overextending, which is a very hard skill to learn. It's something I struggle with constantly.
Yeah, I really like the way they pushed, and it's important to understand the difference between pushing the enemy spawn when it's actually the correct play or it actually benefits you, and overextending. As you said, they pulled out, and by doing that, they allowed themselves to actually maintain the zone and fight off the next push. If they stayed in their spawn, in the enemy spawn, they might have been caught off guard or just spammed by specials. But no, that was really well played by Pico de Gallo.
It was really well played. I'm interested in seeing what pixel per ink will choose as a counter pick here. I'd like to imagine that we're not just going to go to TC, but we're probably just going to go to TC. And I can hope that we're not just going to TC Inkblot. But when in doubt, it's TC Inkblot.
Wouldn't it be just a classic Splatoon tournament of all time, with the first two maps being Zones Hagglefish into TC Inkblot counterpick?
But we could do something different. I would love to see a Rainmaker come out here, or even a Clamblitz, just because we did see Pico de Gallo do so well at managing in this very set pace of a mode. And if we get into a Rainmaker or a Clamblitz, it's very much so, if pixel per ink gets a push, they can make it way more explosive.
I'd also like to see a map where pixel per ink doesn't get too shut down by the Snipe Rider, because it seemed like Manga, again, a very key player in defending and maintaining stability, as you mentioned, in a mode like Splat Zones and in a map like Hagglefish Market, where the range is just so useful and the sight lines are really open for the Snipe Rider player.
Yeah, that's definitely a huge point here. And Manga was doing such an excellent job on that Snipe Rider too, of always making sure to be firing where teammates were firing, and keeping paint up while doing it.
You know, today I was playing a little bit of Valorant with friends, and every time I play that game and then I go back to Splatoon, it makes me wonder how different this game would be if there was kind of a smoke screen, or a more obvious smoke screen, because honestly, Booyah Bomb can be a great way to cut off. Oh!
We have that!
You know what, Nox? I'll let you talk for a minute. I was going to sit here in silence. I'm going to finish my coffee, because obviously the caffeine hasn't kicked in yet.
I hate to be that person, but they have kind of added that.
They have. But
they did do that. We don't see it very often, for a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
But it does exist in the game. It would be interesting to see it in another format, potentially, though. I do agree. And the counter pick has come in. It's going to be Rainmaker Undertow, so I'm happy to see that we're going to be changing up the pace a little bit. An Undertow is a solid Rainmaker map. Sadly, it's still one of the ugliest stages in the game, but it's good at what it does.
Well, what matters, or what counts, is what is on the inside. And hopefully what's on the inside is a win for Pixel per Ink, because if they lose this one, they're going straight down to loser's bracket.
Yes, which you never know. Sometimes wild losers runs happen. It's always an option, but definitely not where you want to be this early on in the day.
Well, I expect, well, let's not say expect. Let's say I hope that Pixel per Ink can really play in an explosive manner, and just kind of outpace Pico de Gallo, because as you mentioned before, the previous game, the pace was completely controlled by Pico de Gallo.
Yes. And we are going to be seeing that 96 Gal Deco coming out again. I don't remember seeing many Krakens come out last game, but it's definitely solid for that. A little surprised to not see the Inkback variation, the Manila kit, here in Rainmaker, just since we have seen that a lot more on and off lately. But it'll be interesting to see how they hold up. Admittedly, one player going down to pop at the opening is not what you want to see.
Not at all. And Pixel per Ink manages to stabilize it. Oh, never mind. That's
not
the classic Commentator's curse. And Pico de Gallo just making a run for the checkpoint. Pretty sure they will get it. I don't think Joshua can do anything about it. Maybe Ray even takes the pick, but no. But that Brella player is just going to go down. Tropical pushing up. He's alone. But look, still a pick. And with Toby and the Mini coming out, Alvin has to back away. Look. This Booyah might delay the push for a while. It might get a pick, actually, with 2 picks. I think that might be the end of the push. Congratulations, Pixel per Ink.
Yeah, Toby definitely having to back off here, not quite getting out of there fast enough. And the cooler coming out for Pixel per Ink should allow them to start making some moves. The Kraken should be able to displace the pencil here, chasing down the Mini, finding that jump. Solid start, but something got in behind them, the Decapitator. And the Mint Decapitator is exceptionally good at disrupting attempts like that.
Yeah, the Kraken was such a good play for creating space, but I mean, having space created for you doesn't really matter if there's a decap flanking you and picking off your entire team. In this neutral though, Special's getting just thrown out. Nothing really happening. As both teams kind of struggle for control, it does seem like Pico de Gallo will come out on top, and there it is. I expect the Rainmaker to be picked up here and just ran left. And here we go again. This is the second push in 2 minutes.
But there is a Kraken at the ready, so hopefully it doesn't get too far here for Pico de Gallo. Getting shut down quite quickly. Tropical trying to push through again using the brute force that is that Mint Decapitator. And doing an excellent job with it, but not quite enough as Daniel is looking to move forward, put pressure on Mongo, and popping that Kraken to really try and make it so their teammates can at least get the Rainmaker out of the danger zone.
Pixelperink moving as a unit, although Tropical has something to say about it, misses and gets picked off, and that is a bold play. But look, Pixelperink does get the checkpoint cleared on this right side. They might get popped. I don't think they can pick it up. Maybe with a pick, maybe with a second, they'll be able to steal this lead, which is not a game-winning lead, but it is something. One more pick. If no one picks it up, it will be reset. But look, it looks like Pico de Gallo here stabilized and will get control of the game once more.
Definitely, and now it is a very even game. Both of those checkpoints being broken. Toby getting found, but not in time to stop the super jump cancel. Able to find two in the process of that. And really great setup there by Pico de Gallo to look at making another push. Although getting the S+ out of this corner might be a bit of a pain.
I love that splashdown super jump play. It feels like you never see that anymore. It manages to give them control of the right side, but look, Pico de Gallo, these hammers from Ray Ray, I'll say that they've been influential, but look, Manga just slips through their defenses like they're not even looking, pushes up to 40, which still doesn't necessarily mean a victory, but Pixelperink finally moving out of spawn, getting some map control. If they pick up this Rainmaker, and if they play this properly, I'm pretty sure they can get a winning push here. Pico de Gallo are really confined to their spawn right now.
They are. A lot of the map is painted that green for Pixelperink. Tropical is trying to get a flank off, but not quite able to. We're running across the grates. Not going to be able to fully cross, though. Toby finds the pick, but has to drop in the process, leaving the Rainmaker in quite a vulnerable position. This pop might get them, but no. They get taken out by the Kraken instead, looking to get the pop. And now we're going to see that Umbrella just trying to clear space for their teammates. That's one of the main goals of the weapon, but they're not going to be able to stop that Rainmaker from scurrying off somewhere. Ah, there we go. Back to mid, and it seems like Tropical's just going to make a run for it.
Yeah, and that is absolutely the correct play. With only roughly 30 seconds left on the clock, it's going to be super hard for Pixelperink to, and even with an extended lead like that, that's so hard. That was such a misplay that we saw from Pixelperink. Getting the Rainmaker on the grates, not too sure what their idea was. I'm pretty sure if they just went straight, they could have gotten the lead, which is quite unfortunate for that. But look, if they pick it up right now, they still have overtime, and they can make something happen. Yeah, and with that kick onto the decav, Nox, they're in a good position to do so.
They are. That Decapitator does need to go down for them to be able to do much. Seems like they are going to keep trying to push the left side here, which I feel is the right call. It's definitely the safer route. They have a Kraken ready, but just the Rainmaker rushing forward and nothing clearing the path for them. You really need something to move in front of your Rainmaker. It's always hard in the heat of the moment to keep that in mind, though, so can't blame them there at all.
No, not at all. And look, Rainmaker is, as you said, not as stable as Splat Zones, and as a product of that, it can be very stressful. And misplays like the one we saw can become much more apparent and much easier to commit. Although they played pretty well, Pico de Gallo just came out on top, and I liked their play. They seemed very organized. Their comp was really well balanced. Let's add that, and they win 2-0 in kind of an underdog situation. Pixelperink was seeded 34th, while Pico de Gallo was seeded 59th. That is quite the upset.
It is. It's always something to that It's not something that surprises me quite as much in this level of tournament. I find that teams at this level can explode in skill so quickly that it makes it really hard to guess where they're going to be. It's definitely one of those skill levels where when Ludi divs come out, they're not so accurate by the end of the Ludi season, generally.